Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up I'm starting off with the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Iron Man Wave Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. So far I actually only have 3 of the figures. I have here the Riri Williams Ironheart figure, I have the modular Iron Man figure, and I also have the hologram Iron Man figure. I got all 3 of these from DORKSIDE Toys. They had these 3 in stock over the weekend. I ordered them, I received the package today, but they also charged me for the full case that I had ordered, so I now have the entire wave actually already shipped and on the way. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and get started with these figure reviews. Normally I would go in order that you see here on the package, but I'm gonna switch it up a couple of different ways. So I know there's probably some folks out there that are going to be reviewing the modular Iron Man, so I don't want to get, you know, if we're all releasing videos at the same time, somebody's video isn't going to get as many views. So I'm going to jump ahead. We're just going to go right into the Ironheart figure today. Then I'll probably go into the hologram Iron Man figure tomorrow. The day after that, I'll probably go into the modular Iron Man, unless I get the full case in by then, and then I'll start to do some of these other figures. So switching it up a little bit different from normal, but we'll still get through all the figures. So right off the bat, what's very cool about this is when we have certain characters, they get their own kind of title card placement on the front of the package, and I really like when they do that. So here you can see Riri Williams Ironheart. We have like an Ironheart logo up there. I have the comic in which she does have her first appearance as just Riri Williams and not like the Ironheart suit. I think that first appearance was actually in the solo run. I don't think she was in this suit in the Invincible Iron Man run, because at some point I stopped getting those issues. But I will do a comparison with this Invincible Iron Man figure, which I think is where some of the inspiration comes from, because it all kind of stems from that particular storyline. So we'll go through that. So looking at the side of the package, we get that artwork of Ironheart looking very awesome. I love the way the suit looks. Very nice. We have this image on the back here of Ironheart flying through the sky, and I love the way that looks. And I've seen some poses with this figure kind of in that flight pose, and it just really looks awesome. The bio for Ironheart reads, "A certified super genius, Riri Williams turns a dorm room project into a high-tech, high-flying suit of armor and becomes a force for good." So there you go. There you have it, right? That's awesome. Here we have all the figures in the wave to build Ursa Major. Of course, it's the modular Iron Man. We have the Vault Guardsman, the Stealth Iron Man, Dark Star, Ironheart, Hologram Iron Man, and Ultron. So very Iron Man heavy in an Iron Man wave, where everyone complains about too much Wolverine, too much Captain America, too much Spider-Man, and of course too much Iron Man. Except when it comes to this wave, everyone has been praising it, and rightfully so, because they are awesome. So let's get right to it and take her out of the box. Okay, and here is the Ironheart figure out of the package, and you know what? She's a good one. This is a very good figure. I think this one will now actually be labeled as the first, no, well, I guess technically it's not going to be the first female with double jointed elbows, but I believe this is actually the first Legends female figure with pinless double jointed elbows. Hasbro had talked about releasing double jointed elbows with female figures. I think the first one to show that was the Domino figure, and I could be wrong on that. I'm trying to remember everything. There's been so much toy news, but I want to say Domino was the first to talk about and show that, because I don't know if the Ironheart figure had fully been revealed yet. I want to say like the day before it was the Domino figure, and then this was revealed in full the next day. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but since this figure is out, this figure has double jointed elbows, upper bicep swivel, and it's pinless in the elbows. So that is crazy for a female figure. Yes, she's in a suit of armor, so I guess it would be, I guess maybe potentially a little bit bigger, but these arms aren't very big. So they're always talked about how on female figures they're so thin that it's hard to do the double jointed elbows. Well, you know what? We're finally at that point. We have it. So let's take it all in and really be excited for it, because this is an awesome figure to do it in, and they really executed well on this figure. So let's take a closer look at the accessories that she comes with, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so for starters, Riri comes with the right leg to the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. We'll throw that off to the side. A couple of things, she has some repulsor blast effects. These are actually new. They're not the same as all the ones that come with every Iron Man figure ever. These ones are slightly different. You can see that they are smaller. They have this blasting out effect there that's much smaller as well and doesn't flare out as much. It kind of goes with the beam. They're done in this dark translucent blue color. There's no additional paint or anything in it like some may get to kind of show a flame or smoke effect, but those are there and they look good. So out of the package, she actually has fists for the right and the left, and you can see there the arc reactor or repulsors, well, anyway, on the back of their hands are actually shaped like hearts. That's kind of interesting. So that is pretty cool. But she also includes these repulsor blast hands, as you can see there. So they have peg holes in them, so you can actually use the repulsor blast effects. They just port into the hands like so. These are not hinged, so they are in that fixed position, as you can see there with the peg. And they also have the heart on the back of them. Gold for the fingers. That all looks really good. And these swap out very easily. Pop them in and out, no problem, like so. Nice and easy. We have these smoke effects, which are really cool because you can actually wrap those around the arm, and I'll show that shortly. Or you can actually wrap these around her feet to make it look like she's kind of blasting off. Now the idea was that, you know, you would have the repulsor blast effect kind of going through there, and you can kind of have smoke coming from it, but it kind of goes in the back of the hand, which I think then wouldn't make sense for a repulsor blast. And even on the feet, I think it's kind of weird, but I love the concept of it, and I think they look pretty good. They're just done in this gray plastic color. A little bit of whitewash would have gone nicely, because I think that would kind of really get the smoke effect to stand out a little bit more. But I still love the idea of it, even though I wish there was a little bit more color to it instead of just kind of the flat gray to it. And then the last accessory that she comes with is the unhelmeted Riri Williams head sculpt, as you can see here. Let me get some bright light on that. And this just looks fantastic. I love the way it looks. I love the way the hair is sculpted on there. It is a separate piece that is glued on, but it is done extremely nicely. So looking at the helmet of the figure, as you can see there, it's kind of got a much different shape to it than we normally would see with Iron Man helmets. Like looking at the Invincible Iron Man, the face kind of comes to a point, so you can see the inspiration in it there. Okay, so let's pop this head off, the helmeted head off, and let's pop the Riri Williams head sculpt on there, and you can see the ball peg. It seems like it's going to be an extremely tight fit to get on there. Oh, and it is a dumbbell joint, not a ball peg and hinge. Well, I feel is that it? That sits really, really high. So you can force it down some, but damn, that sits. I guess when looking at it straight on, it doesn't look as bad, but that's a really long neck and sits really high to where you can kind of see the ball peg in there. So that is a little unfortunate. So I won't be displaying it with an unmasked, unhelmeted head anyway, but for those that would be or do photography, that's pretty disappointing that it sits that high on the ball peg. So we already had the Baroness figure with the super long neck. Now we have Riri with the long neck. Okay, so we're taking a zoomed in look at the figure itself, and it looks really good. I love the gold on there. It's got a nice metallic color too. You do see some marbleization in it, but it's really not too bad. It looks like the gold piece may actually be a separate piece that's glued onto the figure itself, and that's how we get that nice gold in there where we would see the marbleization and not really on the red. So I think it's like two separate pieces. So, you know, the blue would be painted on there, but the gold wouldn't just be painted over the red. It looks like it's a separate piece. But looking at it, we have the arc reactor there in the center with just a blue color to kind of look like it's lit up. Basically the same that you see on this Iron Man figure here. My bright lights, you kind of see some glare. It does not have that glow effect to it, as you can see there. But the figure just looks really nice. It's sculpted really well. We have some of these black areas there, like a really dark gray, which helps get it to stand out. I like that. The gold is really nice on there. I do have some paint rub right here on her elbow, which is a little odd. I don't know what that's all about. Looking at the back, not really a whole lot of paint on the back. Very little on the legs, as you can see there, but in the legs we get a little bit of gold in the front there. And then our hips, we get that same dark gray in there. And it's just kind of red throughout. You can see pinless knees as well. A little bit of gold tips on the toes. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. Love the way it came out looking. Again, pinless elbows. The gold stops there. But it just looks really, really nice. The helmeted head hides that neck, but looking from the side, you can see the long neck is there, but looking straight on, it really hides the fact that the neck is long. So let's zoom out for her articulation now. Okay, so looking down, she can look down somewhat, looking up, she can somewhat as well. Again, it's on a dumbbell joint, not a hinge, so that's why you can only get that much motion going up. So if you get her like in a flight pose, you can kind of do it. I wish it was a little bit more, but that's what we get. Full rotation, of course, you get a lot of pivot going on in there if you'd like as well. The arms, you can get to go straight out and slightly elevated. Full rotation, of course. There is an upper bicep swivel, which we don't get on female figures a whole lot. And double jointed elbows on a female figure, so she can bend her elbow all the way like so, and that looks good. It doesn't feel flimsy or weak at all, so that is awesome. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge except for the repulsor blast effect hand. There is no hinge on these hands. They are static in place like that. We have a diaphragm joint, so she can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back quite a bit. She can come forward very little, of course, and then you get the swivel at that diaphragm joint, because there is no waist swivel on female figures for almost all of them. I think there's some exceptions. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward that high, which is great. We have an upper thigh cut there. Solid double jointed knee that is pinless as well. No calf swivel or anything like that, but we get a foot that hinges all the way down, hinges up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So similar to most female figures, but the added double jointed elbows and bicep swivel are fantastic. So now let's see how the accessories work with the repulsor blast hands, and then we'll try them on the feet. Okay, so here I put the repulsor blast and smoke effects on there. So I did it a little bit differently based on what I've seen others do. So let's zoom in so I can show you. So I did it to where the smoke is actually on the outside of her hands, so it looks like it actually would kind of make sense. Now I think it's a little heavy on the smoke, to be honest with you, but I kind of like the way that looks more than how I've seen others do it, because I've seen others, so I kind of put the repulsor blast effect in there and then I poured it onto the hand. What I've seen others do is they put this around the wrist and then do the repulsor blast, which you know, it works, but then the issue is that the smoke is from behind where the repulsor blast originates, and to me that doesn't really make sense. So I think this looks a little bit better. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Do you prefer this look where the smoke effect is right at the palm, or do you like it better to where it's actually behind the wrist? Now it'll hold better onto the arm this way, because it's a lot of weight when you do it this way, like I have on the left hand. But I think it looks so much better than this. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Now let's move these to the feet. Okay, so I moved the smoke blast onto her feet. So if you get her into a flight pose like so, you can do it one of two ways. So on her right foot, I have the smoke wrapped around her ankle, which holds a little bit better, and I think the smoke trail off of the repulsor blast actually looks a little bit better. But on her left foot, I have the smoke down at the bottom, which then I think makes more sense. It doesn't look as good with the repulsor blast and the smoke effect, but I think just overall it makes a little bit more sense. You guys let me know down in the comments below which do you think looks better, the left leg with the smoke below the foot, or the right leg with the smoke wrapped around the ankle. I don't know if it just comes down to functionality of how you want to get it to look and get it to stay, but I think this one looks better and makes a little bit more sense. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. One thing I keep forgetting to mention is that shoulder hinge right there is that bright red when it comes to surrounded by that dark gray. So that's a little unfortunate. I guess they did it, you know, if you're looking at the top, you can see the red will blend in with the suit, but damn, underneath there, it's really noticeable. So I'm not a big fan of that, but you know, I'm not sure what else they could have done. Maybe they could have painted it there. We probably would have gotten some paint rub, but just something to think about. It is noticeable. Okay, so Ironheart next to Iron Man. These two figures look really, really good together. Ironheart is a little bit more of a brighter, deeper red, whereas the Iron Man is a little bit more of a darker red. I really like the color scheme of the Ironheart figure a lot more. The golds are about the same. I think Iron Man, if anything, looks a little bit more bright yellowy gold versus kind of more of a like jewelry color gold, actual gold. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. But you could see how the Ironheart suit really takes the inspiration from this Iron Man suit. And I'm glad that, you know, the particular storyline, that comic run, that we get these figures from it. Because it was a very recent run within the last few years to actually get figures from that, which is pretty cool. So you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of these two next to each other like that? Okay, so we actually have a little bit of a team going. We have the champions kind of together with some of the younger heroes at the time. So we have Nova, Miles Morales, and Ms. Marvel here with Ironheart. Now, she is much taller than everyone else on the team, but we can always chalk that up to it being a person in a metal suit. But they're coming together. I know there's a couple of, it's Vision's daughter, Amadeus Cho, the Totally Awesome Hulk. I want to say a young Cyclops was also part of that team. I'm not sure if we'll ever get that figure, but we have some of the champions together, so they all look together. We have some of the younger heroes. So nice touch, kind of coming along. Will Hasbro finish that team? Probably not, but never know. And I almost forgot, here is Riri Williams next to the AI Tony Stark, which I believe this look is from her Ironheart comic series, or it could have been in the continuation of the Invincible Iron Man. I'm not real clear that I did not read, but this version of Tony Stark in his AI form is after he died in Civil War II. And then he puts his subconscious into artificial intelligence. So here we have AI Tony Stark, and he acts as a mentor to Riri Williams. So more figures from that story. Okay, and that is my review of the Riri Williams Ironheart figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this figure? Is it one that you are excited for from the wave? I think it's definitely going to be one of the more popular figures in the wave, next to the modular Iron Man figure, of course, the stealth Iron Man figure because it looks awesome, Ultron, absolutely, but I think this one's going to be up there as one of the more popular ones. You know, a female figure with double jointed elbows shows that finally Hasbro is coming along and can give us the articulation. Well, baby steps, right? Well, we should be at this point with better articulation for female figures. This is a step in the right direction. We get some. Still the torso diaphragm joint, no ab crunch on female figures. Is a little tough. You know, maybe they can do something to still give us more range of motion with the diaphragm joint. I guess we aren't there yet, unfortunately. But the elbows, double jointed elbows, was a big step in the right direction. And I think Hasbro nailed it on this figure. Hopefully we'll see great things in future female figures to come. But I think this is a fantastic figure. Even if it has a long neck, you can really hide it. I think from this angle, how I have the unmasked or unhelmeted head sculpt, you can't really notice the long neck. So it just kind of depends on how you're going to pose it and get the angles right. And it can really work. I think it's a fantastic release. I think it's one to definitely pick up. I have some pre-order links down in the comments below, and not the comments, in the video description below. DORKSIDE Toys is where I got mine. They seem to always get Legends figures in first if you pre-order early. The earlier you pre-order, the quicker you'll get your shipment. And DORKSIDE definitely seems to be the place to go for pre-ordering Marvel Legends figures. So just a heads up on that. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.